Welcome to Here for the Horses. Glad you're here for the horses. I do see some new names, so welcome. We are going to be going over we're going to be going over some cool stuff. So I want to bring attention to some videos this week that were interesting, cool, good, improvements, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I want to talk about noticing some behaviors in horses and what they need from you in that moment. Okay. And then I want everyone grab a pen and paper if you don't have one. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to zip my mouth, which you all know how hard that is. And I'm going to let you watch a video. And I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to mute both of me's. Okay. And, I want you to write down, and I'll explain this again when we get there for people coming in late. I want you to write down everything that you notice, and then we're going to talk about it. And it's going to be really exciting. Now, I do know, and it's really frustrating that on Zoom, the videos are like kind of choppy. So it's going to mess with us a little bit because these things that I want you to pay attention to are tiny, tiny, tiny. But we'll watch it through a couple times so that hopefully it'll glitch in different spots and then you guys can catch stuff. But I do want you to be able to see some really cool things. Okay. Okay. So a couple observations. Well, actually, I'm going to give you some dates to write down and some exciting news. I was interviewed for a magazine out of Florida, called Monday Creek Publishing. And I'm going to be featured in the month of April. So they asked me some really great questions and they said there's no word limit. And I said, well, you're going to regret that. So they got like 10 pages from me. Not my fault. Okay. Not my fault. I've had cool stuff happen. So I had to tell them about it. Okay. So I'll let y'all know when that comes out. And then, I have invited Gabby Noir onto one of our calls. Okay. A lot of you know her. I know a lot of you know her because when I was stalking her page, as I do, I noticed that a lot of you are on there already. So she was excited that I asked her to come on. So that is going to be March 10th. March 10th. It's a Wednesday. Okay. She's in Germany. So we're dealing with that difference. Okay. And then, so that'll be at like, oh, that'll be a morning, actually, I think. So I'll get you more details. I'm gonna hammer down on, advertising for it. So you'll know when it is, what time it is, to the point where you're like, I got it. Okay. So that's March 10th. March 25th, I'm going to be talking to the owner of Better Horse Belly and Farrier's Wife. Okay, his name's Russ, and his son's name's Cody. And he's going to come on and tell us a little bit about Better Horse Belly, which is a probiotic prebiotic. I just put Georgia on it because she gets funny in the winter with all the dry grass she has to eat. That's what I think it is. Okay, so he's going to come on and talk. I don't know if those of you that remember, but back in the day, Georgia had a really positive reaction to the belly salve, the Farrier's Wife belly salve. Really positive reaction. And so I was like, wow. So that's what initially got me in contact with the owner. I wanted to talk to him about why, like what made her react so positively to that. And I used that belly salve to keep her happy all the way through the rodeo season because I was running flags for the Enum Claw Pro Rodeo. And that was our first time ever doing it. So that helped her emotions and helped her stay calm. So I'm hoping we're going to be able to talk about that at another time. Okay. So that's how I got involved with him. So March 10th and March 25th. The March 25th will probably be 5 o'clock. Okay. Okay. What I want to talk about today, and it's funny because this was brought up to me by my trainer with me working with my horse, and then I noticed it this week also. Okay. And I actually just did I have another episode coming out on my podcast called Tales from the Field. It's on YouTube if you're interested. I talked about it in that also. Okay. So when horses, I'm going to give you my example with Chester first. Chester is doing really well. So I've been starting to ride him. So what I do is I bring him up to the mounting block and I don't get on a horse until they're calm. Okay. So that means I've spent some time on mounting blocks because I'm not putting a foot in the stirrup if their head's up like this. All right. So I wait there, um, and I'm waiting for him to relax, and he seems pretty chill, but you know those little cues. And as he starts to relax, I scratched rubbed his withers as a reward. Okay. So after a while, and he was fine, did good. I walked him back out and then had him come forward again and stood there, relaxed, scratched his withers. Okay. So as I was showing that video to, because my trainer wanted to see the video before I got on him, she said to me, I wouldn't scratch his withers as a release because you want to keep him in a state of relaxation. And by you scratching his withers, it's adding stimulus. Okay. So she wanted me to reward him by saying good boy and not scratching him. And I go, okay, I like that. And so then just yesterday, I was working with his feet, which is another situation where he gets anxiety. Okay. So as I'm working with him, he's kind of on the higher side of anxiety with what I was doing yesterday. And I went to he put his foot down, so he was fine. And then I immediately scratched his withers as it was a reward. And she called me out again. And she was like, don't scratch his withers. It's too much because he got like that after I did it. Okay. So he needs me to not engage with him so that he can handle it. He needs to process it. And by me touching him or scratching his withers or talking to him, it's making more stimulus. And I want less stimulus. Okay. Now, I can't remember, and if any of you can remember who I was talking about, I had said the same thing. So, a couple weeks ago when Angel was in Cheryl's jacket and that helped her release. Remember that? That was a really cool video. Well, a couple I don't know, I don't remember what horse it was, but I'm pretty sure we talked about it on here, where there was a horse that would get up into somebody's space like using them as like a crutch. And I told them to get him out of your space so that he isn't using you because he's not releasing well because he's getting in your space too much. He needs to stand on his own. I think I said, make him put his big boy pants on. Okay. So I want to talk about that today because I noticed it a little bit and I think it's going to be really helpful. There were a couple horses, but I want to show you Susan's horse, who is Big Sam, because it's a short video, so that'll help. But it's also a really good example. Let me find the video first of a horse just needing to process with you. Now, she does a great job with timing, giving him breaks because he needs breaks. And she does a great job with getting out of his space. Okay. But there is some movement I want her to reduce a little bit. Hold on. Get bigger. Okay, hold on. Okay. So let's watch this. Okay, can everyone see that? Thumbs up? Okay, here we go. Susan and Sam. Susan said that he did not like her hand on his nose. So that's something nice. Good. Yep, good timing. Good timing. I I wouldn't touch him when he's in this state right here. See all that? That's all processing. So I would just grab the end of that lead rope and let him process that all by himself. Yep. Yeah. Yes, good. Good. Yep, let him handle it. He needs that space. I would just be as quiet as you can.
Look how big he is.
Maybe even look away or turn away. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Add a jiggle. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Back your body up. Yeah, give it to him. Yeah, good job. Give it to him. Good, great. Yep, just grab the end of that lead. Okay. Beautiful. So that was a nice example of I would probably have the lead rope on my arm so that I don't have to reach for it. Okay. Because can you guys see how he's so quiet and so good when he's doing the move, and then he does the move, and then she releases at just the right time, which was great. And then he went like, okay. So if she had the end and then she kind of had to reach for the lead rope to get it so that he didn't walk off or mess with stuff. So if she had the lead rope on her arm, she could just turn and look away and have him back there and like not move around too much because he's feeling all the feelings. Okay? So that's a little experiment that Susan and I are doing this week to see if that helps him. Okay. So I think that's going to be something cool. So just think about, hold on. I'm wondering if the reason Megs turns his head away is because he's processing, he gets a, does that say spec? Remember Megs, sometime, see, the thing is, sometimes he's processing, but sometimes he's delaying. Remember? So it's a hard situation. You have to kind of, he gets a specific look when that happens. Yeah. So sometimes they need to process, and then sometimes they go, I don't really want to do this, so I'll just keep pretending that I'm gonna, and that's what Mags was doing. But you can always double check, like it's not going to hurt anything to wait another 30 seconds. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. I mean, I'm obviously being quite picky, but I think it'll help him if if we are really quiet. And then he can just kind of go through all that and then okay. So same, my advice from Rada about Chester was when I was working with his feet to actually step 4 to 5 feet away. And I was like, no problem. That's what I kind of teach people to do. So now every time he picks his foot up, I don't just release the foot and tell him good boy. I actually get out of his space. So that's his reward. And I don't touch him and I don't talk to him. So I'm really taking all pressure off of him. Okay, so I'm trying it this week also. We are all experimenting. Okay. Um, so we'll talk a little bit more about that in some of the videos. Well, I kind of told also Jessica with Johnny Cash to do that also, like get out of his space. And we're going to talk about him in a bit, so I'm not going to bring that up now. Um, okay, before we move on, homework for this week. I almost forgot. You guys did really well. I hope you feel like you did really well because even the people that had horses that you were struggling a little bit more, and listen, I don't feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for you that you were struggling. Welcome. Welcome to horses. Okay. And listen, the more you struggle through these harder exercises, the more horses you're going to be able to help, not just yours, your friends' horses, other people's horses. You're going to see more stuff. You're going to be better. So having a horse that's easy is cool and all, but when you have the more difficult ones, you're gonna get a lot better. Okay, so good job, everybody. We saw some awesome breakthroughs. Okay, here's your homework. Whoops. Oh, you already saw it. Sorry. Hold on. Share. All right. Okay, here we go. Wither rub, scapula rub. And those two are so easy. I'm actually adding a third one because uh next week has three also. Okay. So I didn't want to lump them all together. Pectoral rub and slap. So the wither rub, C shape rub. Okay. Scapula rub, flat hand rub. And then I go into a little bit of the muscles on the scapula. Now, some of you, oh, I was just talking to who about this? Was it Linda? Did everybody get that down? Wither rub, scapula rub, pectoral rub, and slap. I think it was Linda. Let me look. Um, yeah, right here. Okay, so Linda, I think this is Linda's horse. Yeah, Linda was asking about this. What is this? This indent. Okay, so this is the scapula here. And then this is the scapular cartilage is right here. And then this is the wither, the rhomboids right there. If you have a thicker horse, you're going to have the supraspinatus on this side and the infraspinatus on this side. And then the deltoid kind of tucks over the top of them. Okay. So if you have a bigger horse, and then this is the scapular spine, that dark spot. Bigger horses, the muscle is bigger. Leaner, longer horses, the scapular spine is bigger. Okay? So if you have a lean horse, you might find that the scapular spine sticks out more than the muscles. Okay? Let's see if I can actually, I put a diagram in there. I don't know if it's going to show up on either one of these. View post. Okay. So look, here's the infraspinatus. It's on the back of the scapula. Supraspinatus is on the front of the scapula. And here's the scapula. There's the scapular cartilage. Okay. So this spine, it's either going to be an indent or it's going to be a protrusion depending on the horse. Okay. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to rub these muscles independently up and down. So this is linear friction up and down. And then if you were going to do cross fiber friction, I was kind of taught to press the muscle into the scapular spine. So press it that way. A little bit of traction. You'll also possibly find some trigger points along here, so you'll want to pay attention to those. Those take direct pressure. Okay. So scapula rub, and then above here, you're just going to do a C shape and rub above that scapular cartilage. That scapula is a little too high on that. That horse ain't got no withers. That's what I'm saying. You got to watch some of these diagrams. Yeah. Okay. So that is your homework for this week. And then with the pectorals, if you have um, yeah, if you have a girthy horse or a reactive horse, pectorals, you go to rub that, they're not going to like it. Okay. So what are you going to do instead? That's right. Slap it. Slap it. Yep. Slap it. and then try to rub it. Okay. If your horse gets tight in the pecs, I don't know why Arabians are almost always tight in the pecs. Okay. Chester has improved, but he's still tight in the pecs. Um, you can slap it, rub it. Sometimes I will pick up their leg, move their leg to the side, and then rock their body back and forth. Do you see that? Okay. The thing is with that one, takes a little more finesse. You can't get into a battle with them. It has to be a rock. They have to relax into it. If they don't relax into it, you're just tensing the pectorals. So be careful on that one. Okay. But that's a third option I have used to get people to get horses to loosen those pectoral. I mean, you could just, pick their foot up and move it to the side and then ask them to stand square too, right? If their pecs are tight, you can reach in there and yeah, your fingers are going to burn out this week, Linda. Good luck to you. No, you'll be good. Use is this the heel of the palm? What is this? The palm of the hand? What is it called? Somebody help me. I'm always saying it wrong. It's the heel of my what? The heel of my hand. Okay, the heel of my hand. I'm trusting you guys because that's what I'm going to call it from now on. So use the heel of your hand if you need to. Okay? All right. Any questions on the homework? It's easy this week. Yeah, I forgot, Beth, that you had done lateral flexion with him already. He did do good. He did do good at that. I was a little bit surprised. So we're thinking throat latch then and upper neck, which was a lot of the horses this week. Okay, what time is it? Good. I'm gonna spend the next 10 minutes actually talking about Judith is here. I'm gonna spend the next 10 minutes talking about some awesome videos. So let's just get in there. Okay. For those of you that are new, this is the coaching community. If you want to be in the coaching community, you need my online clinic. You're also invited to join Journey Through the Horse. Oh, there's some of your videos. And then you can join that for free. That's included. So I'll put my clinic if you need it in the notes here, and you can check it out. I'll do it in a second, actually. Okay. All right, let's take a look here. Rebecca did some great work on Bling. Bling was stuck on the upper left there, so she used her shoulder to really help get her to relax that area. Zanzibar had a great improvement. Oh yeah, Zanzibar's another one. We're gonna talk about it. I think getting out of his space. Okay, so Marge, you can experiment with that this week too. Like really backing up out of his space. All of the Arabians this week are gonna try that. Okay, Deborah made huge improvements with Frankie. I am happy. So Frankie was super tight along the top line. So if you guys have a chance, go back and look at her first video on lateral flexion with him. And he was having a really hard time. He would make it to like right here, and then his top line was so tight that it was just his nose coming around. Like he couldn't bring the rest of his neck around. She did awesome with a couple tips and put that to play. So highly recommend watching that. I have another one I need to put up still, but that was awesome to watch that. Sylvie gave you guys some advice on, yeah, avocado mist. If you guys, if you shock your horse because of dryness, try avocado mist. And look, the horse likes it too. This is an interesting horse. She's kind of a tough horse, you know what I mean? Like she's stoic. Yeah. Keegan did great. He actually did really well. We're going to talk about Johnny Cash today. We talked about this was a fun video to watch. So check that one out. Okay. Legend is doing really well. If you go back and watch the first video with Legend and then watch this one, there's a pretty big change in his disposition. Just his energy level. He's way calmer, just super relaxed. Loved it. Really good.
There.
Talked about that last week. Okay. Is this the one I want to look at? Oh, this is the welcome video. Okay. Okay, cool. So let's talk about Amy's horse first. So everybody have your pens and paper. I'm going to show a short video. And unfortunately, I will put this video out without my voiceover, and I'm going to let you watch it on your own if you're on the if you're in the coaching community. And then you can kind of look over stuff because you might not be able to see it. But let's watch this video, and I'm going to pause myself. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to write down things that he's doing that, what is this? I don't even know what that is. This is definitely not what I don't know what changes were made. Yeah, I want to leave. Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to write down things that he is doing physically. Anything you find interesting. Okay? Anything you find interesting. All right. Let's make him big. Here we go. I'm not going to say anything. Okay. All right. Raise your hand and tell me what you noticed, and I'll call on everyone. Raise your hand. Lise.
Sorry, trouble unmuting. I noticed head up and backing up.
Okay, perfect. Head up and backing up.
And looking away. Those were my three after every
Perfect.
bend.
Absolutely. Marge, what you got?
Yeah, I thought he would put his head down, then he put it up, and then he turned it.
Yep. Leanne, what you got?
In observing the head, I was thinking more that he was avoiding her, her hand, her activity, looking away, but she kind of just waited and didn't do much with him, touched his pole. And when she actually did the lateral flexion, I thought it looked pretty good.
Really good. Yeah. So that tells you that a horse can have good lateral flexion and still have a lot of tension in the neck. Okay. Right? All right, Linda, what you got?
Was going to say the same thing as everyone else is the avoidance of turning away, like I'm not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not ready, and the up and down motion of the head. So pretty much observed the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Beth, what you got?
I was gonna say avoidance and the way he kept throwing his head up, a lot of tension.
Mm-hmm.
It looked to me like a lot of tension like Keegan does.
Yeah. Now I'm going to ask anybody if they know where the spot is, because there were two. So let me know if you know where the spot is. Jane. See if you can unmute, Jane. Ooh.
You just tap on your own video at the top where
Yeah,
you.
it's okay. I think it was C1 too. He kept avoiding that. Alita did the same thing.
Oh, C1, C2. Yeah. Yep. All right, Kristen, what you got?
I noticed him pinning his ears when he went up towards like the pole and C1. He always pinned his ears and looked bad. And it was almost like it was glitchy, so it was hard, but almost like he was going a little external, looking off.
Totally.
And so avoidance, external, things like that.
Yep. All right, Jane, did you get the mute? Evanson? All right, unmute if you get it. I'll come back to you. Cheryl.
His eyes were very squinty and almost closed, like very tense. And then all the
Okay.
avoidance stuff too.
Mm-hmm. All right, Wanda.
I thought the same thing as Cheryl. The eye was hard through the whole videotape, no matter what else was going on, the eye never softened.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, he was definitely doing the normal horse stuff for, like, oh gosh. So, obviously, there was a ton of tension there, right? So, let's watch it again, and I'm going to stop it as we go. And I'll kind of throw in what I think. I'm gonna stop it as we see. Judith, what you got?
Okay. The same thing as everybody else. He's avoiding and he's backing up and moving his head up and down and just trying to get away, right?
Yeah, but what was interesting is that he wasn't trying that hard. Do you know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
not trying that hard. So it's like he knows he's nervous, but he's still with her. Like, okay, but then he needs like a break. Like he took his own breaks. Did you guys notice that? He was like, I'm just gonna, what's my neighbor doing? Okay, all right, and I'm back. Let's do it again. Okay, that's all I can handle. And then he goes back. But let's watch here. This is fun. This is a great video. And I'm super looking forward to getting this horse's neck loosened up. All right, let's start here. And I really like every stroke that she was using. Okay, do you guys notice where her hand's at right now? That's one of the spots. So what that tells me is she knows it's here. I don't know what is drawing her hand there, but she was right the entire time. And then she comes up here and there's a spot right here also, and I want to show you that. And what I noticed that he did, it took me 2 times to watch it to see it, but watch this spot. Okay, anytime she goes to this spot. There's a release. There's a release. Okay, he wants a break. He takes his own breaks. He doesn't live by our rules. Okay. He does check in with her a lot. There's the spot again. She went right to it. It's right here. She went right to it again. That's the third time. Look at, there's the release. Do you see him release that quickly off of a touch? A touch. And what I love about it is that's all he can handle. Okay. Good. Backs up. He's very in tune to her, which is cool. Okay, watch where her hand goes. Look, okay, watch this part. Okay, did anyone catch that? Hold on. Someone text me right at the moment, man. Okay, did anyone catch what happened right there? I don't know if you could have. We'll watch it again. This I have not had on a recording yet, so it's pretty exciting. Let me see if anyone. Oh, it was glitchy. Well, you know what? The horse was glitchy too. Watch his head movement. And this was from up here. Watch. This is what his head does. He came over to the side and he went. Okay, it's really minor. Right here. Oh, did you see it? Let's watch it again. Right there. He goes like this. Okay. And then he had a release. And then he checks in with her. Look at this. Look at that. Blinks. Okay. He's pretty willing to do that. So don't you find it interesting that he can do lateral flexion really well, but yet the lightest touch on his neck kind of makes him react? And then watch this. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. Okay. So there was something going on here where every time she touched it, he would have to do something and then he would release. Okay. And then I don't remember where it was, right around here, he does a funny little head thing like this. Okay. Wait for it. Right here. It's coming up. There it is. Okay. So I'm going to approve this without I have my voiceover done on it already. So I'm going to approve that one so you guys can watch it without my voiceover. But yeah, take some time to look that video over. It's really interesting. What was he doing that was the release? Licking and chewing and yeah, nothing fancy. Nothing crazy. What you got, Jennifer?
Yeah, that was my question. I couldn't, when you kept saying there's a release, I couldn't see what he was doing except turning his head away. I mean, was he
Yeah, he
licking and
was licking and
chewing?
chewing. Yeah. And what was
Oh, he
funny
was.
is he would be like, she'd be working on him and he'd be cool, and then he'd be like, all right, I need my head back.
Oh, I couldn't see that. Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I just put that, I just approved it so you can go watch it again. What I also thought was interesting is that when she first started that video, he did a big blowout. So he's already starting to connect her with relaxation. It's pretty cool. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, jostling himself. Yeah, I couldn't tell if you guys could see it or not. Yeah, it's really it's a cool kind of thing. And I didn't catch it the first time. Yeah, he's tightened that neck. Yeah, it's gonna all get worked out. If that spot is on the right, I wonder if lateral flexion to the left would be harder for him. Would lateral flexion to the right be easier because the spot is on the right? Probably. Probably. Yep. Because what I always say is that if your lateral flexion is if lateral flexion is tight on one side, you know, if you're on the left doing lateral flexion, go to the right to massage the neck. Don't massage the left. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah, cool work, Amy. That was a cool video. So I hope everybody takes some time to watch that. Any other questions? Observations? Yeah. Oh, Amy, what was his background? Because I think I asked, was he ridden with a tie down?
Are you okay?
Ah, I believe so. Yeah.
So,
All that looks like tie down stuff. Okay. So you're gonna get it worked out and it's not gonna come back as long as you don't put a tie down on that horse. Okay? That's good news. Pretty cool. So those tie downs, especially if he was a roper or anything like that, oh, that strain, it affects every single muscle in the neck, and then it goes down to the withers and wreaks havoc, and then it goes down the back and wreaks havoc, and then it goes to the sacrum and makes the sacrum tilt. Okay? Hopefully not. Hopefully it doesn't go all the way down there, but a lot of them it's a real problem. Okay? But it really messes up the neck. So that's going to be exciting to watch that kind of transform. We do have some more work to do on the neck though. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at Senior Cash. Senior Johnny Cash. So this is a Tennessee walking horse. Jessica, just got him in November, I believe she said. And I wanted to show you something that he does that we want to be careful of. It's the jaw video. Let's take a look. This is going to be another transformation, this Johnny Cash horse, because he is wound tight. Tight. But I don't think he wants to be tight. So some of them are wound tight and want to be tight, Georgia. Some of them don't want to be tight. And I don't think he wants to be. Jaw release. That's the TMJ. Here we go. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about a behavior. Okay, so let's watch here. That's so funny. Yeah, she wasn't buying it, was she, buddy? So they use that as a distraction technique. So some horses go internal and some go external. He does both, and he displayed it in the last two videos. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did y'all see that? Watch that face movement toward your face. That always makes me a little bit nervous. So I keep my hand on the halter. I don't appreciate it when they throw their face into me, so they only get away with that like once. Because they're pretty fast when they do that. Or if you ever hit some tension, yeah, there you go, perfect. So keep your hand on your side of his face. Because you got too much play if it's on the other side. There you go, nice job, nice release. So, you know, his process is going to be one of kind of manic and then relaxation. Manic, relaxation, go external, relaxation, you know, that sort of stuff. So, it's just going to be part of the process. I would not allow his face to come into my space or go around me. So if he needs to get away, I completely understand, but he can't bring his face into me. He has to take it away. And I won't stop him. You know, have a hand on like that. I won't allow them to go, especially when he's doing it with such force. It's a bad habit. There you go, good. So he could do that, and that doesn't bother me. Just like that's fine. But I wouldn't have him doing it the other way toward you. Because you're just gonna get whacked. Good. Yep, keep your hand on that side. Keep his face on that side of your body. And if he needs a break, he can take his face away from you and not into you. Nope. Okay. Oh. So I want to talk a little bit about this because it is dangerous. Okay. And it's pretty common. You'd be surprised how much you see this. And this is a new horse to her, like I said, and he's really amped up. Okay. So he has to keep his face at least this far away. I'm not having this like darting face coming toward me. So there's a couple different things that I'm going to want her to implement. One of them is going to be hand on the halter down here, not the lead rope, not up higher. And I want whatever, this is funny. I've noticed this about some of you, and I've never noticed it before. This is the first time. And I think it's a right hand dominance thing. So think back to the jaw release. Okay. So if you're doing the jaw release and your horse is over here, you're holding onto the halter with your inside hand and you're doing the jaw release with your outside hand. But then some of you would switch sides and you would hold with the outside hand and do the jaw release with the inside hand. And that's when I noticed a lot of you were going thumb down because you're right hand dominant. I want you to hold with the inside hand and release with the outside. So that was the same with one of these situations. Oh, it was the TMJ video. So if you're doing the TMJ, you're facing the horse. I want your hand on the halter. This is the horse's face. Ears like this. I want your hand on the halter here and the TMJ work here. And then you flip sides. This is the horse's face. I want this hand, your right hand on the halter here, and you work the TMJ. Okay? Because what she was doing in one of the videos was she was trying to work the TMJ with her right hand and then holding the halter back here. And then you had this wild face just flopping around in the wind. Okay? Hand on the halter, do your work with this hand. And then as you switch sides, hand on the halter, do your work with this hand. We all going to be ambidextrous by the end of this. Okay? But there's a reason. Because, you know, when they're pushing that face into you, your hand has to be here and you just lock out. Okay, so that's the second piece of advice. Hand on the halter and put it in the right spot, not on the lead rope, not up high, right here. Second, lock your arm out. Okay. Now lock it out, but keep it flexible, right? So this can be locked, right? It's locked, but it still moves. I'm not rigid. I'm not holding tightly. I'm not white knuckling the halter, but I'm going to protect myself. So my hand starts like this, and then they start to get crazy, and I go, okay, and I lock it out. That's going to be really useful for that horse, and it's actually going to give him some structure that he needs. Okay? Another piece of advice. I would position myself so that he can't, and I think we talked about this also in the jaw one. So if he's here and he keeps squeezing his head in between me and him, I want to move my body so he's here. And then I hold and do work. So move closer to him so he's not trying to squeeze in between you and him and get that head in between you. So stand maybe back more by his mid neck. Okay. Another thing I would want to do with him is, and we talked about this already, I don't mind when horses come into my space after I've established a relationship with them. But you're not going to come into my space fast. And this is what Chester used to do. They come in fast. If you come in fast to my space, you're going to get doink, doink. Okay, and she was saying, I don't want to hit him. I don't want you to hit him either. I don't want you to hit him either. And sometimes if that, you know, this becomes a battle, I don't want that either. So I'll drop that and I go doink. Okay. Another thing you'll see me do to Chester sometimes is I just go, my space. You're in my space. If he runs into my hands, that's his fault. It's not my fault. Okay. So just karate chop the air. And if he runs into it, that's his fault. And then another thing I would want to do, because listen, we're not trying to, the truth is we're not trying to teach manners right now. We are trying to massage him and get him to release tension. But we don't want to get busted in the face either. So sometimes these little sessions become mini training sessions. I'm not even going to say a full training session. I doink them right on the face. Whatever part is coming toward me, that's what gets doinked. So with that being said, I don't want to get into an argument with them. So another option that's going to be great for this horse, and I highly recommend it, is do your work and then get out of his space. So like I was saying with Susan and her horse, have the lead rope. And generally, listen, game plan is that you just toss the lead rope over the neck, right? And that that's how you do it, right? But if you're not quite there yet, that's okay. Keep the lead rope looped over your arm. Okay. So for him, because, this whole thing that he's doing is he has a lot of tension. And this little bit of body work that we're doing on him, I say that we're all doing on him, it's a lot for him to handle. And he's doing the best he can. This is a lovely horse. This is a lovely horse. Okay. This is a great horse. He's having a hard time. So we want to help him through this. So there's a couple ways we're going to help. We're going to set up a structure that you don't come into. We're going to position our body beneficially so that he can stay where he's at and not come into us. And if he violates that border, doink. Okay. And then when he's really good, I'm going to get out of his space. And I'm going to let him do all this without me in his 4-foot space so that he can, and all of this is going to fade away. It's all going to fade away. Oh, yeah. What do you mean pull back? Oh, the walk back? Yeah. Yeah. Doink. Yeah. What you got, Jennifer?
Would you say that a horse that is just doing excessive pawing, just pawing, would that kind of be the same thing going on? Instead of throwing the head in your space, throwing the head in your space, but just that paw.
Are you talking about Sir Hawk? Are you talking about Sir
No,
Hawk? Oh, okay.
no, I'm thinking of a
So,
different horse.
okay. With the pawing, is it when you're working on them or not working on them?
When I was working on him, and it wasn't just like a paw to kind of distract, it was big and constant and like much like throwing the head in your space. It was almost like I'm pawing into your space to
Yeah,
get
so
you.
what I do in that case is I get really big and my massage moves get really big. So one, I'm going to lock that arm out, and two, I'm going to kind of lock my arms straighter, and then I'm probably going to do some pounding on whatever I'm doing on because they're almost, that seems like annoyance to me, like they're annoyed. So now I need to
Mhm.
get their attention.
Okay.
Okay, so that's kind of what I would go first with that one. Send me a video when you're working on them.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
And then maybe we'll talk about it on a Sunday. But try that.
Okay.
So first, send first part of the video, just video record what he does. And then a couple minutes in, kind of get bigger and get louder with your moves and see if you can hone in on something that calms him down and videotape that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries, Amy. I bet. You're doing great. Keep it up. Yeah, we can't have the head swinging toward us. Okay. So yeah, give him and both of you guys are great at Amy and Jessica. They're new. They're great at giving breaks like on time when they need them. So now try stepping out of their space a little bit and then letting them process, especially with Johnny Cash, because he needs all that movement to distract himself from reality. Okay. And so as the reality starts getting better, he won't need to distract himself so much. But until then, no head banging in our group. Sorry. Okay. Any other questions? Pretty fun, pretty good. This week's easy, so shouldn't be too many issues. I'll be glad to see. Horses are going to like this one. And I did just talk about, I'm going to put up, I'm going to put up a video about some horses this week are going to, when you scratch their wither, they're going to go like, this is the best. I love this. Yes, harder. This is so good. Okay, perfect. I love it. And if you have one of those, enjoy it, videotape it, put it up on YouTube. Everyone's going to love it. If your horse does not do that, I do not want you to feel bad. And it does not mean that they don't love it. It means they're, we'll say they think they're too classy for all of that stuff. Okay? They're too regal for that sort of movement. So they're going to keep it a little closer. But if you get or like a little, okay, that's what you're going to get from your more stoic horses. And that's a win. So we don't want all of our horses to act the same way. So we appreciate them for who they are. Okay, so don't feel bad. I don't want people to feel bad because they don't have any of those extroverts. You can come over and mess around with mine if you want to. You just got to watch his hind end. Okay, any questions? All right, I got a couple more videos to do, so I'll be kicking them out. All right. Hold on, I got a... Okay, perfect. Well, I will talk to you all later, and if you have any questions, let me know. Leslie, I'm going to read your message in a second. I'll get back to you. Thanks. Bye.